Hey yo, it's another episode of No Level Cap Live with my people in the group, Terrence Flowers, Rakeem Beck, and
Yes, sir.
Will Coleman. What's going on, y'all?
It's
Still
been
black.
You know what? That's the best way to kick things off. We're still black.
Well, you know, I mean,
they
that's
they haven't taken our melanin away.
Most certainly.
man, that sounds like some real supervillain shit. Like somebody
It
coming
really
through and
is.
taking your melanin.
Hey, that's that Joe Biden meme from back.
Oh
in,
my
2020.
God. You're not black.
You don't vote for us. You're not black.
You know, it's a different perspective in my family because we have what's that stuff called?
Vitiligo?
Not vitiligo. We have dang it. We don't have no pigment.
Oh,
Albinism?
Yeah, we have albinism in my family. So you'll skip. And you either have albinism, full on albinism, or you'll have like this weird thing where you get like red hair and you're really, really light skinned. And it's no in between.
yeah. I think everybody got
Okay.
somebody in their family.
Yeah,
Kind
well,
of
Yeah,
it's the
'cause of-
recessive gene.
My mother
Yeah.
has that, and then one of my cousins has that. He looks exactly like my mother. Like it's weird. They look like he looks like he's her son. It's so crazy.
damn.
Yeah, he looks so.
Since you
so
brought up the
similar.
Biden thing, though, I'm glad you said it because we kick it off with this. This popped up earlier today, and I was like, "What?" It's such a weird headline. The Kamala Harris campaign is going to stream World of Warcraft tonight to court the gamer vote. First off, just the concept of them being like the gamer vote is just really
I
fucking
know.
funny to me.
It is.
But it's not as bad as it looks or it sounds. Since it was launched in August, the Kamala Harris Twitch channel has broadcast rallies and speeches from Flint, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, and other locations across the USA. It's about to go
Okay.
slightly further afield, with the Tim Walz rally being broadcast from Azeroth. A live audio feed of Walz speaking in Arizona will be accompanied by Twitch streamer Preheat playing World of Warcraft and adding commentary. A guides writer for Wowhead, Preheat has more than 50,000 subscribers on Twitch. No, Walls won't be playing WoW with Preheat, so we won't find out if he's a druid main. So why is this happening? It's part of the Harris campaign's plan to increase its visibility to young men, which has also included advertisements played during sporting events and on IGN. As the Washington Post put it, they're making a push for the gamer vote, which included a Geeks and Nerds for Harris fundraiser.
That is
I
interesting.
can't. A part of me can't be mad at it, but I'm just like, you know what? Do what you do.
I mean, this isn't the first time something like this has been done, so you know.
I know.
It hasn't. It just,
I need you to Pokemon Go to the polls.
Oh my God! I just feel like
No.
WoW. Is WoW really the most relevant game right now?
See, that's the thing that I was stuck on. I was like,
Yeah.
first, it's two things. One, WoW is old. Like, it's from 2004. There are
Right.
plenty of people playing WoW
Yeah.
still. Like, there's
Yes,
millions.
obviously.
But, like, there were so many other games you could have picked if you were going to go this route. The other thing is, I feel like there's really only two types of gamers. And like, I feel like gaming is more divided politically than probably anything else.
Man,
It's starting to feel like it.
Ooh.
Because it's
man,
like,
is it?
there are the normies. Well, I mean, I might give you three groups. There are the normal people that just want to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Then there's like hey man, like the people that are already politically active and they already lean left, either full left or just slightly left, and they wouldn't go vote Trump no fucking way. And then there's it's woke. I don't want any of this DEI in my games. Like that's it. And you're not gonna get those people. So like, I don't know who we marketing towards. Are you trying to get the casuals? Because like, I feel like casual gamers. I guess it would depend on how casual they are. Like, you know, like I guess there might be some undecided gamers that might see some shit like this and think it's cool. But I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like we could have used something else.
Yeah,
You have to-
WoW is just an interesting platform for it.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's a choice.
the better way that this was done was, if I'm not mistaken, I think Hillary Clinton did it in 2016 with the animal. Or was it? Or was it the
Animal
Biden
Crossing?
campaign?
Biden did Animal Crossing.
Okay, Biden did Animal Crossing. I had to think
Okay.
about it. I was like, no,
Okay, yeah.
2016, that was too early.
I
for
didn't
that,
even know
but
this
yeah.
was a thing.
Yeah, that's right. But they
Well, Animal Crossing was huge, like during the pandemic and
Yeah.
shit.
No,
Yeah.
the
Like-
game. Yes, I didn't know about the political
Well,
stuff.
Well, I mean, like not just the game. Like I remember there was a dude, Gary Whitta. He did like an interview segment, and he would interview actual celebrities in Animal Crossing.
Hmm.
So like, yeah, I'm not
yeah.
surprised that they kind of got away with that because I mean, like people are already doing similar type things. So yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But like I think the thing that bothers me the most is like, what gamers are you getting? You getting like old people, like people with mortgages and shit, like people that grew up playing World of Warcraft. They can't be like, I was 16 when World of Warcraft came out.
Yeah.
So like, they're gonna be my age, which is 36 or older. And so it's like, all right, they got bigger problems. They're not just focused on gaming. So like, you could have just got them through traditional means. If you wanted the gamer audience, you should have got like Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft, some of that.
And if you can do that, like maybe you should have like some kind of policy that involves like internet freedom or something like that, or something that helps gamers
Like net neutrality.
specifically. Yeah, net neutrality is a big deal. Like, hey, I'm enforcing net neutrality. That's going we knocking it off. We cutting this off for like AI. We're gonna like block AI, more AI stuff.
All of that would
certain
be much
areas.
more, that'd be much better. Yeah.
I guess maybe the
something
reason why
like
they
that.
didn't target those other games is because maybe they're worried about it. Although those games still do skew very young, like most of those people might not be voting age just yet, so maybe they felt like they couldn't do that. I don't know. There might be some stuff.
Roblox
gonna lie.
in particular definitely skews young, but like Fortnite is kind of everybody.
Yeah,
And I ain't gonna lie, if you ain't playing it, that shit don't really mean nothing to me. Like, I'm a gamer who talks online. If you get on the game and you talking to constituents and stuff through that on a live stream, that's way more laid back and more relatable than the person who's not doing that.
True.
Well, I mean,
Even if
again,
it's just for 30 minutes, you know.
this person right here, it's just somebody live streaming and reacted to it. At which point, it's really just Hassan. Like, that's just Hassan type content. So I don't know, man. Like, I guess we'll see. This campaign, I mean, this whole election is turned into a shit show. And not entirely from the side of the Democrats for once. I'm kind of surprised. Like, it's really the other side where I'm just like, all right, are y'all going to do anything? Are y'all going to be remotely serious about this? And the answer so far has been no. So
no, not at all.
But we got other topics, bigger topics to talk about. This has been a busy month for video games so far.
Man, we
got
only
a game
10
of the
days
year.
in.
And it's only 10 days in. Had a game of the year candidate drop. But I fuck all that shit. I ain't no Atlas fan, so I want to talk about something that actually matters. Let's talk about this damn.
That's crazy.
Let's talk about this damn Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
The disrespect.
Yes, sir.
My days.
I wanted to check out this launch trailer. I hadn't gotten a chance to see it yet, even though I have been playing the game. So let's see what they're talking about.
All right,
Is this Toonami one?
No, this is the new one.
Man,
oh my God, the memories.
You really have to give Bandai Namco their credit. Like, they know how to market their stuff.
Break through the limit.
Here comes Dragon Ball. They do.
I was just about to say that.
Dragon Ball, they definitely know how to market it. This one, he probably can make a Dragon Ball golfing game. That shit probably still would say.
I know, right? How many hole in one?
Say goodbye.
Where's Dragon Ball, baby? It's the finale.
You're dead meat.
Time to take out the trash.
Oh, Sean Schimmel's throat gotta be like eradicated. I know it sounds weird, but if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you're like, this man, when he get old, he can talk like this.
I mean, it's certain things you do for your like voice.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just special moves.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly.
This is the optimal way to play the game, though. So
Just watch.
God damn.
And they add more characters.
They better. They still missing some people.
Then they add 20 in the DLC expansion.
Bro, look at all the
20.
all the
Jesus
fusions.
Christ.
There you go. DLC 1, 2, and 3. 20 plus playable characters.
And they still gonna be short. Just off of this. But
Now,
I mean, I
Super Shinra.
I wonder how much are they gonna update this game in comparison to what was the game that they
Xenoverse.
Yeah, Xenoverse.
They still
Boy.
updating Xenoverse.
they really are.
Xenoverse, bro. They were floating that around the river.
It's
bro.
basically like a light MMO at this point.
They gave that game a life jacket. They gave it an oxygen tank. They said, "Hey, look, bro, you gonna live for as long as we say." So they
I
said,
mean-
"Ain't no pulling it off life support. It's gonna go."
I don't know if it's on life support. I think it's just making that much money. Like, you don't give that much DLC to a game that's not popular.
I
People's
mean, yeah,
clearly still
but-
playing that game.
Yeah, they are. They in there deep in the trenches.
I mean, one thing I'll say, I've played a lot of this. Like, I like what I've played so far. I am a little surprised. Like, it's even though from the trailers you'd never know, but this game was clearly made on a budget. Like, when you get into the story mode, so much of the story is like told through still images.
Oh,
there's-
oh no.
There's so much like content where like characters are barely moving and they'll just be talking and you might see a little wind sweep by and you like, huh,
Oh no.
that's fascinating. So
Oh.
I mean, like, the game itself, like, there's a lot of heart to it. There's a lot of love put into it. You can tell like some of the stuff they're sharing online. Like, when you select all the mini Gokus, they have a little conversation with each other.
That was pretty cool.
And they go far enough to have, like, if you put Goten in it, Goten's like, hey, man, I don't think I'm supposed to be here.
Speaking of Goten, I saw one clip that I don't know if it's real or not. Maybe you can confirm where Goten says that 18 is a baddie.
I don't know if that's real, but
It
I
might not be.
Because I mean, like, they got that
I'm
clip of
wondering.
Krillin in 18,
Wow.
where 18 is like, look, man, sometimes I gotta whip you into shape, and then he's like, look, I'll practice with you as much as you want, but I got limits to my strength.
Oh my God.
Because there's another one that I've seen that I'm trying to figure out if it's real. It was between Trunks, Kid Trunks, and Vegeta, where Vegeta makes a promise. I'm like, I'm gonna take you to that amusement park you always want if
That's
you
probably
practice
real.
with me. And then he was like, "No cap, let's go." And I'm just like, "Huh?"
Oh, I hope that part's not real, actually. Fuck, I don't like that.
I'm like, he says that.
I know that, like, it's a conversation, and like I basically, like, the once again the fucking right wing people kind of ruined it, because like sometimes like these localizers be doing too much and adding a bunch of like modern phrases, and I'm like, this shit.
Oh, they
it's not
definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
not
is
gonna
absolutely a
age
thing.
well. But then, like, I can't say anything because they're gonna lump me into the same group as those weirdos. It's like, oh, you just want all the perverted shit and yada yada. It's like, hey man, I think the localization is a little corny. That's all. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's a thin line between love and hate, literally. So sometimes the truth is the truth, and sometimes, like you said it before, like how people will say like you don't like certain things young people are doing or certain rappers are doing. People will say you just hating.
You just
Like
old.
not everything just hate. That's not always the case. Like there's a legitimate argument there in the middle. It's just we're in a world where like we can't make legitimate arguments. It's gotta be extreme.
Everything
gotta be extreme.
polarized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. No, I totally understand where you're coming from. I mean, you are right.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff will show its age later on, which
It definitely will.
make it seem very dated. So
There are people
it'll definitely be a
complaining about it.
choice.
There are people complaining about it right now, because people think, we're not sure of it yet, but people think that the localization for Lunar is the one that Working Designs did back in the day, and that was it had a ton of 90s references, very topical for the time, and so it's gonna look and play really dated if they use those same references. And so it's like,
Yeah.
dang, like that you got to think about shit like that when you make
Yes,
these,
you do.
like when you do these localizations.
Yeah.
It's
And
funny
another.
you-
Sorry. Go ahead, Will.
I was gonna say it's funny you mentioned that, because recently I just finished playing Rhapsody, a musical adventure. It was finished in '98 in Japan, but came to us in 2000. And I played it. When I tell you the references in there are so dated, I kid you not. I think one of the characters was actually singing Will Smith's "Get Jiggy with It."
Wow.
Like it was a random dialogue, and I
If you lit
seen
to me.
I seen the word I seen the stuff come across. I'm like, this is a lot of late 90s like stuff right here that I recognize. I feel old seeing it, but it's there. They didn't change not a lick of that.
See, that's funny. And I mean, like, it's probably fine because it's like, I mean, Rhapsody is like a game not too many people are going to think about. I haven't thought about Rhapsody in over a decade, really. But like, if I was like really passionate about it, I'd probably be really annoyed. Like, man, this shit kind of, you got my shit looking corny as hell. Like, I want to show it to people, and no, like, man, cut that shit off, man.
Yeah, you would think in this generation we'd be kind of closer to like the original idea of the translation. Of course, certain concepts that might not translate, words or phrases that might not translate, from culture to culture, you might have to reword it a little bit. That's understandable. But like specific, like westernized references or something, that seems kind of
If
off.
anything, it's kind of gone the other direction. Like, I remember growing up, they would put a lot of like we said, like me and Will's talking about, like a lot of dated references, and then somewhere in like the mid to late 2000s, and then in the 2010s, that shit started to go away, and it's almost like a lot of that shit is kind of trying to come back, as some people just
pendulum.
the pendulum has swung back, and it's like they starting to throw little references in and be cute, and then the only people who really complain, the people who complain the loudest, tend to be the people that you should be ignoring. And so you just kind of like, all right,
they don't play games.
I will say, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I will say another part of this is now that you have the threat of AI translations, and that also kind of is making the waters kind of muddy, because translation is definitely an art. One-to-one translations can sound very clumsy, and so you kind of there is a fine line to it. Like there is some nuance to how you translate things, and some people are saying like, see how the AI translate is like, that's the way it should be. But sometimes the AI might be very, very cut and dry, and as a result,
they know like that. What is the AI?
No
like
seasoning to it.
Yeah, like you got to add something, and it can't be like a direct translation is going to sound off.
Yeah,
and so like you don't want a direct translation. Like it can't be like that. So there's got to be a middle ground between a completely direct translation and throwing in like, oh, no cap, like, all right, man, like,
no cap. I mean, come like 2030s, we're gonna not be using that.
A direct translation and then like Western slang out of nowhere is like, that's not the same. Yeah,
not at all.
Kind of weird. But I have seen the other extreme, like you guys said, because I've played games like there was an RPG I played on itch.io one day, and the author clearly was not American. And I guess they did the translation either themselves or someone close to them, because like all the sentences were awkward, like all of them. Like the writing was like really awkward, and then like you could tell it was the phrases weren't quite right. And like when you're playing that, even if you like the game's battle system, when you see the dialogue is off, like every single time, it takes you completely out of it, like immediately.
Can take more of that than the average person, because I grew up playing a lot of, well, not playing, but watching a lot of like tokusatsu
fan subs,
not fan subs, because fan subs, like anime fan subs, not all of them were terrible, but like when I grew up, I watched a lot of like tokusatsu, and not all of it came from America, and not all of them was translated by people who knew the language. Sometimes it was like translated by somebody who knew Chinese, and translated to Japanese to Chinese, and somebody else translated from Chinese to English, and the shit was just, you got what you got.
Hey, it's like those classic NES translations where it's like, the truck have started to move in Metal Gear, or like, I feel asleep.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
I feel asleep.
I mean, if you wanted to watch any kind of subtitle version of Kamen Rider or Super Sentai, sometimes that was the best you was gonna get. And so I can tolerate a little more of that. But also we're in the modern era now, so like, hey man, get it together. Like you get somebody else. But you said itch.io, so I mean, obviously that shit being done on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Can't complain too much, but it still takes me out of it.
Yeah.
I will say I've been playing this game, and I know people was complaining about grade 8 Vegeta putting a dick in the dirt.
Man,
and I am surprised that I was like, all right, because I remember playing BT1 back in the day. And like staying up late at night. Like I had school the next morning, and I was like, I don't give a damn. I'm beating this fucking punk ass grade 8, because BT1 was really specific, and you had to beat enemies the way they were beaten in the anime to pass on. And not only that, but like certain enemies would have like if they were hard in the anime, they had to be hard in the video game. So like not only did he do more damage to you, but you did way less damage to him. He didn't have no hit stun. Like he was just like, hey man, you punch me, so what? I punch you, I'm knocking you the fuck out. And so I stayed up hours playing to beat that guy. I got to this and I was like, oh, all right. Very quickly, all I figured out was like just shoot him with a Kamehameha from afar. And like IGN got a guide up right now, and it was like, so here's the thing you do: wait for him to attack with an energy beam, dodge, hit him with a Kamehameha wave, and then power up because like you got two versions of powering up. You got the regular power up, get all your key energy, and then there's like a skill count bar on the side. And when the skill count bar, it can go up to like 6. But when it hits 1, at least one skill count, you can power up into like sparking mode. And when you hit sparking mode, like you deal more damage. Everything takes hit stun. And you they pretty much like the AI pretty much doesn't even dodge. So you can kind of get away with a fuck ton doing that. So like I did that. I think I fought Grade 8 Vegeta like maybe 6 times, and then I wiped him, and I was like, all right, cool, moving on. I won't be going back to that. I'll tell you that.
Fair enough.
The one thing I don't like, there are some hidden timers in the game.
Oh no!
Like when you do the first game, I think I told Devin this. I don't think I told you, Keem. When you like in the Saiyan Saga, like you can have there's certain times where you have options to pick between, like you'll have like dialogue options, and so like Raditz shows up, he like takes Gohan and leaves, and then Piccolo shows up and it's like, all right, man, let's team up and go fight him. And you can be like, all right, Piccolo, I'll go with you, and then you follow the path of the story. Or you can be like, all right, Piccolo, fuck you, I don't trust you, I'm going by myself. And if you go by yourself, Krillin will tag along, and then so it'll be you and Krillin going together, and then eventually Master Roshi will come,
which makes way more sense looking back.
It does make way more sense. And so like they'll go, and then you actually be able to fight with Krillin and Goku, and you can fight Raditz like that. But there's a hidden timer if you do that. If you don't beat the timer, then what happens is like eventually Krillin's like, look, I can't keep fighting. I gotta tap out, and then Piccolo will come in, and then they just do the normal story shit. But if you can beat it within the timer, and like they don't tell you how long you have, it's not like there's a 60-second timer in the corner or anything. It's just a dialogue. Like when the dialogue pops up, like Krillin's like, I gotta tap out, you just lose. But if you beat him before the timer's up, what happens is like you actually all beat Raditz together, and like without Piccolo's help, and so Goku lives.
Oh, that's a huge difference.
Huh. And then like you'll say something and he'll be like, well, all right, but the Saiyans are still coming, and so you have to train. But instead of Goku going to King Kai's to train, he stays on Earth and he trains with everybody else, and they all train together, and then they just all fight the Saiyans together.
Interesting. I'm liking this new direction that these newer Dragon Ball games are going in terms of presenting like these what if scenarios, or just doing like their own original story. I want to see
these what ifs.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real, we've been playing the same story for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody, it was wild. I was online and I see somebody say like, man, I can't believe they was basically saying what you were saying. Like, I want more what ifs. I can't believe we're still doing the same story mode. And somebody was like, take, bro, this is one of the worst takes ever. Of course you'd have the story mode in there. Why would anybody do anything else? It's like, because we tired of playing the same story mode. Like, we've been playing that shit
They're
since
probably
2003. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how old it seemed like because it was on a forum. So, I mean, of course, they'd be a little older. But, like, they probably, some people just have brain dead takes. And, like, it was just wild because I'm like, they've been doing the same story mode since Budokai 1.
Yeah.
And, if you've been playing since Budokai 1, like, the only reason only Sparking Zero could have made me this hyped to play the same story over again. Yes. Nothing else could have done it. Like, because I already played the story mode again back when Kakarot came out. And that was like 4 years ago. And it's like, all right, well, I got my fill. Kakarot was the first time I had done it since Budokai Tenkaichi 2, because I didn't even get 3 growing up. So, like, okay, like, the last time I played it, story mode was like 2006 or some shit like that. And so, like, it had been 14 years. I'm like, all right, I'll take that. But like now I'm like, all right, I don't need the story with the same Dragon Ball story. And it's not even Dragon Ball. That's the crazy part. They don't put Dragon Ball in there no more.
Shit, they don't give a shit about Dragon Ball.
Yeah, they don't let Dragon Ball go away.
Although we have Daima coming tomorrow, which I just realized.
It's tomorrow?
This game.
That's tomorrow?
I believe it is. Like this and Daima launch on the same day.
It's a Dragon Ball week, baby.
It says October 11th. Yeah,
you're right.
Oh, Rama have? Okay.
Oh, Rama have.
Rama
I watched
already
the
out.
first episode Sunday.
Oh, it's already out. Okay.
Yeah, it's already. Yeah, it already started.
It was really
I'll
good.
catch up.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll catch up.
It was really funny. Like it had a lot of I don't know how accurate it is to the manga because of course I've never really watched read Rama before, but what I saw, I really dug it. Had a lot of fun. Speaking of, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, Terrence. What have y'all seen from the fall anime? Have y'all seen anything?
So far, Dawn to Dawn episode 1 is the only thing that I've seen. I've yet to check out.
I haven't watched anything yet.
I have seen the ED for the new ED for How to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon. I know people were talking about it.
The new ED for it.
Yeah.
The ED.
The
ending theme.
Oh, I mean, I watched Mushoku Tensei. ED means a completely different thing if you watch the anime.
Bro, no, not that.
No.
I was like, yo, what's happening in this arc? Boy, going through it. I mean, in Mushoku Tensei, that was a whole arc. That was a whole arc about that. So.
Sometimes you got to go through it.
Are we on episode 2 already? Hold on. Oh, I'm tripping. I gotta get this. I didn't realize it was that far in. Dang, it ain't got the
Ain't nobody put it up?
Ain't nobody put it up yet.
Maybe just Don Machi season 5 ED?
Yeah, I'll say yeah.
Maybe
go
so.
right there. Damn, man, y'all slacking on YouTube. Y'all using
the anime out, the ending theme should definitely be out. Full lyrics.
I guess that's it. The first one, maybe.
Nah,
the most down bad anime ending where there's someone reacting.
That's it right there. But like that's
I don't
not
want no reaction to it. I just want to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
They don't have the actual ending up there. I guess I don't know.
Somebody didn't do it.
That's all good. I'll check it out later. I mean, like I'm not. I see it's already going down the horny path, which makes sense because I see which goddess they focused on this time. So, I'm assuming that Don Machi's going back to being more lighthearted than season 4 because season 4 was dark as shit, and like it clashes in a good way with seasons 1 through 3, but it made it the show's better for it. So. I don't know. Hopefully it maintains the same level of high quality. I do think with season 5, they finally hit the we've caught up to the light novel. What's going on, King?
Okay. I did randomly watch I think it was the second season of this racing. No, the first season of this racing anime. It's on the second season now, I think. Ghost. MF Ghost, I think. Yeah, I started watching MF Ghost. It was okay.
That motherfucking Ghost.
Motherfucking Ghost.
Oh,
it had a direct initial D reference in there, so I don't think it's from the dude that
made initial D.
Oh, when I tell you they had a reference, oh my god, they had a huge
reference.
Make a
racing anime without doing so, I suppose.
I forgot. I also saw the first episode of season 2 of Sword Art Online Alternative.
Oh, how is that?
That was kind of a surprise. I had to do it for work. They just out the blue messaged me, I think the day before, and was just like, hey, could you do the recap? And I mean, it was a waste of time because only like 3 other people looked at it, but whatever, I did it. But the first episode, it was okay. It was mostly just recap. Like it wasn't really like you go back and you look at it, it's like it's reminding you of all the characters and like the main characters and like the rivals and kind of like building up because the first season, I don't know if you've seen it, Rakeem. But it's just like it's set in the Gun Gale universe, which is from Sword Art Online 2. And it's
only saw the first episode. Yeah.
All focused on gun shit. And so like the first season was just about these battle royale tournaments called squad jams. And like it did like the first squad jam and the second squad jam. And then this one's like the third one. And so it's just like they squared up again. This time the protagonist is teaming up with the rival chick from the first season. And they got like a whole new set of enemies and shit like that. But I mean, like, it's not like it wasn't really action heavy. It was more just like here's all the people you forgot about because the show been off since like 2017.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I do need to check out. Right wing people kind of ruined it. Oh, I also saw this. I saw this and it was quite good. Magie Lumiere, Magical Girls Incorporated. It was quite good because it's basically
I think I've heard about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like if you haven't seen it, it's got another it's another one of those anime with like an adult cast. The protagonist is like the two protagonists is like an old chick, and she's a magical girl. She's like a magical girl office lady. And
that's
like,
the one where Magical Girls Incorporated, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of like Tiger Bunny in a sense.
Yeah,
it's a lot like Tiger.
I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like the other girl, she's like new. She can't find a job. She's out here busting her ass, doing all the studying and work. And like she keeps getting passed over, and finally she's like, I just want to find some place where I can help people. And like she just happens to stumble into the magical girl job, and they just give it to her. I'm really excited. I loved the first episode, and it has a lot of potential. I'm looking forward to checking out the second episode on Sunday, I would imagine.
Okay.
Other than that, I've been meaning to check out Trillion Game, the little seinen anime about the dude with trying to earn $1 trillion.
Yeah, I want to check that out
it's
too.
It's done by Madhouse, so at least gotta check it out for that.
Right.
For Madhouse Works.
No, this season, there's so much this season, man. It's crazy.
I still haven't gotten a chance to check out Dandadan. I might check that out Sunday. It just
Devin.
That first episode was wacky, but man, the hype train for it has been real.
Bro, Devin told me, he said that was one of the wackiest first episodes he'd ever seen. He said it was crazy in the Chainsaw Man. I was like, how?
It is.
He didn't lie.
It is.
Not at all. He didn't lie. Crazy.
The second episode dropped today, and people have been talking about that one. So, I mean, overall, people are, it's been very well received.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Well, I also got to finish up. I got to finish up Bleach season 2.
Man.
So I
me too. I'm not that as far off because I actually did marathon season 2 a good bit. So I'm about over halfway.
I think I just finished season 1. So I'll just go ahead and kickstart season 2 and get
season 2 been lit too. I ain't gonna lie.
I also checked out the new Kamen Rider series.
Oh, okay. What's it called? What's the theme?
I'll just let you see it because it's ridiculous.
All right. Is it like Rubik's Cubes?
No.
Oh, okay.
Kamen Rider Decay.
Cut that out.
It must be a movie. Shout out Decade though.
Yeah, shout out Decade, man. That was a lot of
fun. Shout out Decade. It's candy?
Yes.
Candy.
What a weird.
That is a weird concept.
Pop in gummy. Remember Kamen Riders for kids.
Well, it is for kids. But remember how they do shit for kids in Japan versus how they do shit for kids.
I mean, somebody will probably be dead in the first episode.
You got it.
They got candy and shit. That's gonna be innocent, man. Everything's good.
You know,
the villains are eating humans.
That sounds about right. This is like
Garo.
This is very dangerously close to Garo.
Yeah.
It's real close, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, that's pretty cool, Castle. Marshmallows.
Marshmallows
Got another. Oh, he's chocolate. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, man, that chocolate marshmallow about to tear your ass up, man. You better get it.
I know, right? Move!
Oh my god. Dark Confessions. What's crazy, his actual costume design actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I watched a full comic series.
A full one? Oh,
yeah.
nah. because I didn't even finish Geats, even though I like Geats a lot. I got like 38 episodes in.
I like 0-1. I ain't finished.
I'm sorry, but they just killed me with the candy just raining down after the explosion.
Cake candy makes a lot of sense.
It's a weird one, but I mean, like so far it looks. I'm like, well, it's weird. I didn't finish the second episode. I got like halfway through and I got distracted by something, so I need to go back and finish that. But from what I saw, I was really digging it. It was like the design is a little silly, but I mean, I'll take it for right now.
I don't hate design. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
So I want to get into something real quick. I want to talk about the Fantasy Critic.
Woohoo! Fantasy Critic.
How are y'all feeling right now?
I'm sliding so far down.
I think I have some I have to drop.
You need to drop Hades.
I have to drop Hades, which sucks. It's a fucking 90.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got Metaphor.
You did get Metaphor.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Keem. You definitely been batting hard with the 90s. Like honestly, I think. Does everybody have a 90s game except me and Will?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, Will got close to 88.
Yeah, I mean, same for me.
I'm
currently playing said game.
The only problem is I have to drop. Let's see, Indiana Jones. That comes out what, December?
Yeah.
Or November?
Yeah, that's
okay. So I don't have to drop that one, but I'm probably gonna have to drop Path of Exile too, because I think it just does early access as well.
Yeah.
After all of its time, it's going to freaking early access.
It has been a while. It's kind of wild.
Me and the Hollower, I ain't heard no news on that. I'm probably gonna have to drop that.
No, you're gonna get rid of that.
You're gonna have to drop that.
Oh, that's only two I really have to drop then.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, they drop Hades and yeah.
But like, what else is left? Because they pushed a lot of stuff to next year.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
I drafted
as Jeff Teague says.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
That's the problem.
I drafted what's the name of that shit?
Assassin's Creed.
Not just Assassin's Creed, Avowed. I drafted a
Dang, they screwed you.
Shadows and exactly.
They screwed you. Yeah, dope.
I also, and I'm not really mad.
Terrence.
I forgot to draft Marvel Rivals, and the next thing I knew, Keem had drafted. I was like, oh well, that's on me, because I thought about it like multiple times. Like I should draft this, and then like one day I went over there and was like looking, and I just seen Marvel Rivals. I was like, oh well, it's too bad for me. I should have thought about it.
I know, right?
Terrence just outbid me. Because I drafted or I bid for Echoes of Wisdom, and he just outbid me on that one.
Honestly,
smart.
I wish I had gotten Astrobot from you instead, because I was thinking about Astrobot the week that it came out, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I should go for it now. And then you had picked up, I was like, oh dang it, I lost that one. And
that's definitely what happened to me on a couple games. I'm like, shit, I can't get him.
I bet it all on Zelda just because I figured Zelda would be, it's Zelda, but I will admit it didn't do quite as good as I thought it would. Like,
how'd it do?
I just had 86.
86?
Man, 86 is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real, though. Like, the games that are really going to pull through for everybody are the ones that are, like, in the 90s, like the Metaphor, like, at least Tekken.
No, you getting ahead of yourself. Like, for me, the strategy is just to draft as few 70s as I can. Because, like, if you draft a bunch of, that's what's going to hold you in the end. If you've got too many 70s where you're only getting 3 points, 5 points, 6 points, and it's taking up a slot when you could have gotten an 82, an 85, where you're getting 12 points and 15 points, or like in Zelda's case, 16 points, that's really what gets you. Like, if you're trying to draft 90s, like,
I mean, you're not going to draft all 90s, but if you look at mine, I have not hit a single 90 yet.
You haven't,
yet
but
you're
in
the lead.
You are in the lead, and I mean, like,
but I guess what I'm getting at is like you all like have games that are like pretty, like get you some real points. Like Astrobot got you like some creme de la creme points, and
I mean, Astrobot, one of the highest ranking games of all time. I didn't expect it to do that well. I figured it might get 90.
Good shit,
period.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just have a feeling that I'm probably going to miss it out by like some points. Like it's probably going to come down to like a 10 to 5 point difference or something like that.
I doubt it.
I gotta stop picking up these early access games.
I mean, I went and like made some executive decisions, and I'm dropping that goddamn clown game. I keep trying to wait for. So yeah,
clown game.
Yeah, you're Hollow Knight.
Silksong.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I mean,
yeah, because
we all get hold. Hey, Star Wars hold me. Star Wars hold me.
Star Wars hold Ubisoft.
Star Wars and Rise of the Ronin didn't turn.
Rise of the Ronin, they hold me. Yeah.
Well, you know what though? Rise of the Ronin, I feel like fans like that more than reviewers did.
They
Seems
did
that way.
Because
I've seen.
I don't see too many people talk bad about Rise of the Ronin. In fact, I think IGN Japan did like a Game of the Year poll, and that motherfucker was in there. It was like somewhere in the top 10 of Game of the Year. Like people fuck with that heavy.
It's kind of like a cult classic type situation where like the fans liked it more than the critics did, especially over time later.
Right.
So kind of like a God Hand thing.
Could be
a little bit like
something
that,
like
yeah.
that.
Where the people who really like God Hand, they really like it, but the reviewers at the time were just kind of indifferent to it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, what like Star Wars Outlaws, it just feels like very few people, like, well, I won't say very few. It feels like a lot more of a mix. It feels like, and I hate this, but it feels like the Starfield of last year. That's what it feels like. Where there's some people that really rock with it, and then there's some people, but it, unlike Starfield, Ubisoft ain't got that protection that Bethesda offers. It ain't got that. You know, they own their own. They're like, hey man, you know, you get it how you live, like, because people already don't like Ubisoft, and so like the fans are looking at it and they're like, yeah, but it's Ubisoft though, and all they make, they have a new name. It was a Ubislop. You know, they got that bullshit.
Ubislop.
Man, I tell you, like, there are people who like they just see the name and like get out of here.
Yep.
You're not welcome in this house, Ubisoft.
They just take a deep breath and be like, oh man, here we go.
nah, here we go again.
And here's my thing.
Which is funny because Prince of Persia came out earlier this year and that was very well received, but imagine how like that game just got like quickly swept under the rug because people have kind of just forgotten about it.
Still DLC and stuff too.
It was such a small game though. Like that's really the problem there. Like it's a small game, and so you stuck with it. Like you need the big AAA games to hit for people to be like either that or you need to only do small games, but you can't like. That shit don't work for big AAA studios where they put out like a little game that turns out to be a massive like critical hit, like it because they never sell well enough, and so like people just
some reason
they'll be like, oh yeah, I guess you got that, but like what about your big projects? And you know what I'll say for Star Wars Outlaws? Why did that game come out so quick? That's what I want to know. Because look here, let's take a look right quick.
Oh, between the time when it was announced and the time that it actually came out?
Exactly. All right. Because I think that game was announced not long ago at all.
Was it at the Game Awards last year?
Hell, hold on. It was definitely no. I wouldn't. I got it. Yeah, here we go. And then this. There it is.
What's the date on that?
January 13th, 2021. Now, of course, I guess you could say maybe it was in development for longer. But then why would it say this? I want to say it's somewhere in here where they just said it was very early in development. They were like, oh, yeah, you know, we basically just started working on this. Oh, yeah. Development on the title is still very early. It's like one of the first sentences there. Like I was busy.
And it says they're still recruiting staff for the project.
Yep.
Interesting.
And so it's like, well,
man,
why did it come out in 3 years? Like, why didn't you take another year, 2 years? Take 2 years, hell. Like, and then I think it got delayed, didn't it?
That I don't know.
I think that game was supposed to come out last year.
Oh, really? Oh, if it had come out last year, it would have been an absolute mess.
Thank God it didn't come out last year.
Like, what should have happened is at the very earliest, maybe they should have announced it this year, and then it could have come out next fall. But they too busy focused on the bottom line and like, oh, we got to make a profit and this and that. And it's like, all right, well, you stay focused on that, and you're not turning out any major hits. And this is what happens because now your stock price didn't drop down. Now it's talk about like maybe the Guillemot family, and Tencent are going to buy it. And so like, look where you at. Look where you at. So like, this is what happens when you rush a game out the door. I can't get out of my head that Nintendo said Tears of the Kingdom was content complete when they delayed it. They said that game was finished. They said, "Oh yeah, we done with this game," and then they was like, "We just delayed it so that we could polish it."
Yeah, look how big of a game that was.
Delay a game for a year that's already done just to polish it.
I'm trying to think of the last time that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it goes back to Nintendo again because they did it with Metroid Prime, where they saw that Metroid Prime 4, the development for that was not going very well, so they rebooted it.
See what I'm saying? Like, Nintendo, one thing, and I mean, like, this is not always true, but I mean, like, for they big projects, it's always true. They take that shit serious. Hell, Nintendo, not only did they delay a game by a year, and I mean, like, I'm not, before anybody, if you watch this, if you watch it live, if you watch it later, before you think I'm one of them, just a big, huge Nintendo fan, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not one of them. But I mean, like, you got to give credit where credit is due. And, like, not only is Nintendo willing to delay a finished game so they can make sure it's polished, but they're also willing to move up a game's release date. And the game still come out good because they moved up. I think it was Xenoblade 3. They had some issues.
I think you're right, yeah.
I think Splatoon 3 had some issues, so they said, all right, well, we're going to delay Splatoon 3 by a couple of months and just move Xenoblade up. And I said, where they do that at? Who does this?
Where they do that at?
In Nintendo Land.
That's where they do
in Nintendo Land, exactly. So, I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy to me that they tried to push this game out in 3 years when we know for a AAA game, it takes 5, 6, 7 years of development time. And if they had taken those 5, 6, 7 years, maybe just 5, if they had taken 5 years of development time, this game probably, you could have ironed out some of the problems that you have. You could have fixed some of the story issues. You could have fixed the fact that, like, all the glitches and the brain dead AI, and you could have had more variety in your side activities, and you could have had, and somewhere along the way, someone probably would have said, maybe we don't need to give her an iconic pistol. Maybe she don't need that. You know, maybe she can just find weapons or buy weapons and keep them.
Man,
yeah, isn't that a thing in the game too, where she like you drop weapons like after you're done with them?
You
can't hold anywhere. 2 weapons at the same time or something.
You can't go anywhere or do anything really without her dropping the weapon. Like if you try to climb up, she has to find a weapon in battle. If she like climbs up something, she drops the weapon. If she gets on her bike, I think she drops the weapon. Like you can't really just carry a weapon with you. I don't know who thought
that was a good idea.
That is not a good idea.
I know what the thought process was. They wanted to create Han Solo, and you know when you think of Han Solo, you think of his iconic pistol. And so they was like, "Oh, we want our character to have an iconic pistol." And so instead of just having her buy and just allowing you the customization of getting whatever weapon you want, they was like, no. The only thing you gonna have in every encounter to start is a pistol. It's like,
so I liked like with Jedi Survivor, they allowed him to have all types of lightsaber customization. He had a dual lightsaber, a big lightsaber, a lightsaber and a gun combo. They could be any color, any holster and shit like that. And they had different aspects to it. And like obviously a normal lightsaber user wouldn't have 30 different variations of a lightsaber. That's for a video game. You know, you want to have some flexibility and creativity for the characters, and to get you some customization to personalize. You could change his hair, his costume, like everything to personalize him. I think that was a much better way of doing it than just like a iconic pistol with 3 different shots, and that's it.
I don't know. Maybe they just were concerned about not having anything to put out this year. I take that back. They initially had Assassin's Creed, but now they pushed that back because of what happened with Star Wars Outlaws. So,
and who knows? Maybe they were having issues with that. They were gonna just push on through.
Yes. That in fact, that's what they said. They said after the release of Star Wars Outlaws, they said something to the effect of, "We realized that our fans want a polished experience," and I'm like, "Nigga, you ain't know that before."
Yeah, that's a dumb statement right there.
You weren't aware before
It's
that
crazy
they
how
wanted
they-
a polished
crazy how they
experience.
never
Like,
know.
what?
You know that before?
I never
You
knew.
didn't know you had to
crazy
make
how
a
you never
good,
know, bro.
solid, polished game had low amounts of bugs.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. Thank God they delayed that game because if that game came out, it had been ass.
Oh, my God.
Man, we would not hear the end of it. From,
The end of it.
The other
Nah,
the people.
not a bit.
See, you knew once they put those DEIs in the game that it was gonna be bad. Like, oh God, like I
Here
fuck
we
you.
go.
Bro,
with it.
I'm tired of this conversation with every game.
I'm
you know,
so
also-
tired of it, man.
On a side note, man, it's kind of sad now that Ubisoft's killed so much goodwill, even within some of their franchise. Like they killed Watch Dogs, Ghost Recon. The last Ghost Recon game was very bad to receive because of all its issues. And then like now, like this Assassin's Creed has had so much negativity towards it. And like you said, if it had came out like it was, that damn near could have killed Assassin's Creed. If it had been bad on top of it, it can't be both.
Key, remember
can't be
when
both.
me and you, we was like, damn, it just seemed like everything Ubisoft does is right. Remember that, like that 2016 to 2020
2016,
everything they
2019.
did, we was like, damn, they knocked it out the park again.
They knocked it out the park for like 3 years straight. And then after that, it was like, let's go back to being greedy again.
They got to next gen and decided they ain't know what the fuck to do with themselves. Like,
Be
it's
greedy
crazy.
again.
That's why Beyond Good and Evil 2 is not going to come out.
Man, you know what would be crazy? If Beyond Good and Evil 2 was the turnaround for them.
That would be
Ooh.
wild, considering that game has been
That
developing
would
for like
be.
a decade. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
I remember
like
watching like the tech demos for that game. They had so many different like tech demos and demonstrations. And I did had like a channel that would show like little parts of the game. You could just see like, oh, this is flight, this is combat, this is kind of moving around.
they ain't
I'm
just
like,
have
bro,
they ain't just
it's
have
still-
tech demos.
it's
They
still
had what
coming,
you
man.
call it.
It's still
They had,
coming. It's still alive.
Copium.
What's the word I'm looking
Medic
for?
options. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is massive, and traversing an
They had
open
their own
star
little
system is
directs.
completely seamless, whether you're on foot, in
They sure did.
vehicles, or in space.
which is
You play
crazy,
as a
man, because there's no
customizable
way they
It's
can
kinda-
scrap, if they scrap
carries
all
a
this,
sword,
that's like
a
so
gun,
much work
and a
wasted.
jetpack as
I
basic
can't scrap
equipment.
this.
Your character and
no,
weapons.
but
What's
they
crazy is
got
it
granted.
kind of feels like what they would have used as a foundation for Star Wars Outlaws if it came out on time.
Trapping foes in a
I
time-slowing
assume, yeah.
bubble, for
They
example,
may
or
have still used some of
freezing
this.
them in place
I feel
with
like
chain
maybe what they're
electricity.
doing with this game
Enemies can
now
also
is
use
maybe
options
trying to
like
figure
these
out how to
scientists who
market
can
it.
heal their
Like
soldier buddies
maybe
with
they're
augmented
still
bullets.
wondering if this
So you'll
should
wanna
be
get a
called
close look
Beyond
at
Good and
who's
Evil
carrying
2.
what
I don't
and
know.
plan your strategy accordingly.
Oh, I mean,
In order to see what
that
your
would be
enemies have
weird
equipped,
if they
you'll
just
need your
decided it was
spyglass,
a-
which displays
Are you
the
saying-
stats, skills, and augments
are
of
they
your
going to call it
characters,
Beyond Good
as
Evil
well as
2,
revealing
or would
more
they just make it a
details
different
about
franchise
locations and
entirely?
points of interest, even
Either
from
or,
space.
kind of like how
It's a key part of
I'm trying to think of a
recruiting, too.
specific
Take a
example
close
where
look
one
at an
game
NPC
turned
with your
out
spyglass
it started
Dino-
off
a
as one
dinosaur-
thing and then like
Dinosaur
completely was
Planet
revamped.
into Star Fox 64.
Of
Let It
course,
Die?
your crew isn't the only company you can bring.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, I
Beyond
can't think of
Let
any
It
other
Die was
examples.
originally
Like,
an
go
anime
back.
game.
Solo,
it
but
was
buddies
this-
can jump in
Let
or
It
out
Die
at
was
any time.
originally an
You
anime
won't be
game
tethered
called
together
Lily
either, and if you
Bergamo.
wanna wander off
And
into
then,
the
like,
night
Oh.
while another player
It's
does
so
their own
wild.
thing,
Like, I think
you're
if you
free
look
to
up
do
Lily
so.
Bergamo, and then y'all know what Let It Die
Welcome to
looks like, right?
Ganesha City.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I know. I played it.
Perfectly built metropolis where the rich live at the top.
I remember Let It Die.
And the poor huddle in shanty
And it died.
towns built into the sides of the city's
And they had
foundations.
definitely took it upon themselves to keep like advertising it like crazy on PlayStation 4.
This was Let It Die first?
Yes.
Huh.
Oh, from Grasshopper.
Mhm.
When they said this was Let It Die, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this is nothing like Let It Die.
No, it ain't.
Well, you know what? I guess a good example, probably like a classic example, is how Versus 13 became 15.
Mm,
Ooh, ooh.
man, I still remember those Versus 13 trailers.
All of fabulous.
I bought a
Oh, this
PS3
game.
just to play that game.
Oh,
I played a little bit of this.
I
Punk's
had to
not
make sure that
dead.
everybody, just in case, like the people at home, I want you to be able to check this out and see like the difference.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, they made a spin-off of this There was like a multiplayer game or
Made a
something.
sequel, if I'm not mistaken. Let
Yes,
It Die
that's what it
Deadverse
was.
or something like that.
Yeah, but that was like a multiplayer game more so.
Yep.
Although this had multiplayer elements too. But yeah, Let It Die was like a weird experiment. They tried a lot of different ideas with this.
Is Suda51
like-
working on anything right now?
I
They
don't
just
know.
did a lot of Pop Chainsaw remake, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that is right. You're right. That was a thing. Yeah. Which I heard.
It got some mixed
the view-
reviews.
Yeah, I heard one of the biggest problems was they couldn't get the licenses for the music again, so it doesn't have the same feel that the OG had.
I got you. But I mean, all his games had mixed reviews. So that's nothing new.
Yeah, no, I mean that's very true.
But they all got like.
Cause
cult
they
followings.
remade Shadow. They did a remake of Shadows of Dam too, right? Well,
Yeah,
that's not
I think
out
you're
yet.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's out, but they were working on a remake.
Shit, the one they need to remake is Killer 7.
I mean,
Hell yeah.
but I mean, hey, I like me some Shadows of Dam, so I'll allow it. That was funny.
They just took this. I don't know what happened. It's like they just took whatever the fuck they was working on and threw that in the garbage and was like, all right, let's.
And they
This
said
is-
they said let it die.
Yeah,
I
let
would-
it die.
I would definitely want to see a tour of Grasshopper one day just to see how that company works, which probably is a thing. But man, they just
Yeah.
think differently.
I don't know, like with Ubisoft, I hope that Assassin's Creed Shadows turns out to be good. The thing that was the red flag wasn't the delay. What was the red flag was the fact that they delayed it right before they let journalists get their hands on it. And so that's when I realized no one's actually played this game yet.
That's right.
And so I'm like, all right, man.
Oh, that's bad.
They need to get that in the hands of journalists in the next 2 months.
Let me ask you this: is the delay long enough? Because that's only like what, a 3-4 month delay?
Well, it's not. I mean, like a delay like that is not long enough to add any new content or fix
No,
anything
it
real.
has to be polished.
Yeah.
But if it's just for polish and getting bugs out of the way, yeah, it's probably long enough. You would
Okay.
hope, because like, unless it's like some cyberpunk type shit, because that shit took 2 years to fix, because they just shouldn't have put it out like when they put it out.
Yeah.
And it was delayed, what, a couple times before that, right?
That started off at a whole other console generation.
It was supposed to. Well, it sure was. It was supposed to come out in May of 2020, and then I think they delayed it to like December.
That's right.
I think so. So like that, it's 7 months. But like even at the time, like internally, they were like, we need another 2 years to finish this game. Like I remember Jason Schreier published a report on that, and he was, and like in the report they were like, we needed another 2 years to put this game out. And so like 2 years is indeed what it took for them to get it from Cyberpunk
That
1.0 to
is-
Cyberpunk 2.0. So
Yeah.
That is what happened. 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
but I mean, like, I don't know. They worked on, I feel like they worked on Shadows for a long time. So if it really is just bugs that are the problem and the game itself is good, that game should still be fine. I'll probably pick it again next year. Right now, I'm just crossing my fingers that this Romancing Saga 2 don't get the same ratings as the normal
The other
Saga
ones.
games.
Yeah.
Saga
seen
games
you-
typically don't do that well.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When I seen you had that on your listing, bro, I said this motherfucker beat me to it. Damn.
Hey, man, I had to beat somebody to something. Shit. Everybody was beating me out. I'm like, fuck.
Hey man,
I was like, this ain't
spent all my
safe.
money in the
Who is
beginning.
this?
I was like, I need to give me some big games now. I'm not going for it.
That's not a like that strategy. I can't, because you never know what might get announced in
That's
the middle
true.
of the year, and so like
Well,
I
actually,
always,
at this point, I do hope so. 'Cause I had to cancel some games.
man, Replace didn't come out this year.
Oh,
Oh, that's right, that did get delayed.
Yeah, Devin had quite a few games that if he were still like doing the fancy craft, the critic with us, then he'd have to like, repick.
Europa's coming out very soon though.
I think
Very
Europa
like-
comes
yeah.
out like next week.
Okay, I thought it was the 11th.
I've been waiting
tomorrow.
on that to come
Oh,
out.
that's
for
tomorrow.
long.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay. That sound
Hope-
Well,
hopefully it's
that
good.
game is going to get buried.
The landscape of by the end of the month, we'll have a much better idea of who's winning and who's going where.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, over the next 3 or 4 days, like we'll know a lot more. Terrence, how you feeling about Never? Never.
I think that will be. It'll probably be like a mid-'80s game at most. I think. I don't know
Never
where I
could have made it.
I don't know where Greece was. I think Greece was like maybe upper like low 80s maybe.
I'll look it up in a second.
Okay. Greece was,
I think
very highly acclaimed game.
One of them darling games. It's one of those games that like it hits the 80s, but everybody under the sun that played it ends up loving it.
Yeah. I have a feeling like this game, people will like it. Like it's going to touch on the heartstrings and everything, but I don't know if it'll necessarily be like a high scoring game. You know, we'll see. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know anymore, man. If anything, like this whole year has taught me that you don't know what's going to do well and what's not. Like there's some indie games that you could think like, oh yeah, this is going to like blow everybody's socks off, and it's like mid. And then there's another game that just comes from out of nowhere and it just is like the shit for like a month or two. Animal Well came out and I was
thinking of that.
Much better than anybody thought it would be. You have what was it, that card game that came out?
Balatro.
Yeah, Balatro.
I played it the other day. It was good.
Yeah, everybody loves that. There's like, was it Kill Knight that recently came out? That was high.
Oh yeah,
very well received. So it's like you really don't know what games are gonna be the real deal and what ones won't. And heck, even with the AAA games that were the real deal this year, they didn't do as well as they needed to. So
they sure didn't sell like they needed to. I can tell you that right now.
I mean, even Astrobot with its high score, like we still don't really know what the sales are looking like for that game, right?
I think it did pretty well in the UK, but in America we have no idea.
Okay.
We'll get I forget what the name of the sales company is, but we'll get the sales for it later in the year or later in the month, because that game came out in September, and so like the sales won't be out until like mid to late October. So we'll know in about a week and a half. What's up?
I should put UFO 50 on my list. I actually own that game and hyped it up.
I was gonna say you sure hyped it up to me. And that motherfucker, it performed. It put on.
Why do I put that shit on my list?
I mean, heck, honestly, look in terms of something that was a surprise. I mean, look at Silent Hill 2. Like that actually came out to very high scores, way higher than most people thought it would.
So I don't really give a fuck about Silent Hill 2, but I find it fascinating how many people are just so angry that they remade that game. Like, apparently, Silent Hill 2 is just the bridge too far. Like, man, shut up. You ain't got to play that if you don't want to play it.
Exactly.
I've seen so many people just throwing little temper tantrums online like, oh, no, this isn't game preservation. And I'll give you this. You should always port the OG version and make it so that can be playable by modern audiences if they want.
I agree with that.
Yeah, if it's possible.
Oh,
yeah. It is getting to a point where some games, it's like we may have lost the code for it, so you might not be able to do that.
That would suck.
That'll make emulators even more attractive.
Looking at you, Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
So, but on the flip side of that, man, like, it's nothing wrong with remakes coming out, man. Like, you ain't got to play them. If you want to play, that's why I'm with porting it, because like once it's ported, it's like, hey man, if you want to play the OG, feel free to play it.
Yeah.
But like you sitting over here talking about if people don't want to play the OG, then they just must not want to play it. Like, I guess so, my nigga, but like I don't know why you would want it to be like that.
Exactly.
I don't know why that would be your thought process, instead of just being like, oh well, if people want to play it, they have access to a remake where things can be different. But now we've gotten to a point where people are so obsessed with nostalgia. And it's crazy for me to say this, the person that spends most of his time reading 80s and 90s comics and watching 80s and 90s anime. It's crazy for me to say that y'all too obsessed with nostalgia. Because like I saw somebody the other day trying to argue for tank controls, and I was like, all right, look, man. Like, oh man, no, that was developer's intent. No, the fuck it wasn't. That was what they could do at the time. It was a limitation. You notice when they bring it, like when they remake these games, they don't have tank controls. It's a reason for that.
I know some people really like, I know some YouTubers in particular that I keep up with that they like tank controls, and like that for them, that's a part of the game itself. But I'll be honest, I mean, yeah, most people aren't really feeling those in this modern era. I mean, I will say that if you do like that, it is cool that there are these new like retro inspired indie games like Crow Country that have come out that have that kind of style that you know can buy and play that kind of thing. That's fine. But for like a AAA game to have tank controls now, I mean, like, come on, that's just not that's realistic, man. Be real.
No.
I'm not sure if they were arguing for a AAA game to have tank controls, but I think they were saying that it's a shame
remake to have it.
The remakes don't have them and shit, and I'm like, hey man, you lost your damn mind.
I mean, I guess it'd be cool if you had it as like an option, I suppose, just for like shits and giggles. But still, it's like, I mean, you know,
I don't need it. Like, it's weird. But since we looking at this 2024 Hall of Fame, how do y'all feel the Game of the Year nominations are gonna go? Like, I'm not gonna ask you to nominate. I'm not gonna ask you to say Game of the Year yet, because we have Dragon Age Veilguard to come out yet, and like the way the journalists that have played it were talking that game up, it may be a candidate. So like, it would be wild.
One of them.
It might be one of those. Like, it might come out and be one of them. I mean, as somebody that drafted it, I'm certainly hoping so. So, what do y'all think is gonna get nominated?
Well, without question, Final Fantasy 7.
I think 7 Rebirth will be nominated.
Rebirth is going up there.
I mean, yeah, Rebirth probably will be nominated, but I'm surprised y'all, because all of y'all are Atlas fans. Y'all didn't say Metaphor. It looked like Metaphor.
I mean, I was gonna say that next. I mean, like, honestly, the top 3 up there is like, yeah, that's a given.
I mean, yeah. I'll say this though, as someone like who is really a big Atlas fan, I love a lot of their RPGs, despite how hard some of them can be. This hadn't hit a lot of regular folks' hands yet. That's what I'm looking at with Metaphor. It hadn't hit a lot of regular folks' hands. Like, some people are getting theirs tomorrow. I'll say it like this.
Because technically it's even out tomorrow. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's out tomorrow. So, like, a lot of influencers have their hands on it because, you know, you got the popularity. Atlas going to send you some love in a box with a game, a t-shirt, a hoodie, and probably, like, some cutlery or something. Ain't no telling. But the game ain't out for, like, the general populace right now. And we ain't gonna talk about like some of these other like review spots I've seen and people talking about how the game looks and this, that, and the third. We're gonna see how it look with the crowd when it come out. Because the people who play like the demo and have gotten it early and played it and have talked about the story, they like what they seeing, and some people are also saying this is gonna be definitely a set of quote unquote gamers 9/11 in a way. So yeah, I don't know. But
I don't know what that means. I'm very curious.
Every time I hear that, they say it's gonna be that game that's gonna kind of like wreck some people in a way, like it's gonna cause like some catastrophic like psychic damage to those people.
Oh, like an emotional, like
well,
emotional
I did
damage?
Hear
no,
it's a very fascinating game to come out during an election year.
Because it's about an election.
Thank you. It's about an election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
it's a magic election.
Yeah, it's a magic election. So when this game come out, we'll see what everybody thinks about it. Like when they get time to put their thoughts out and how they play it. But I can see Metaphor being there, but I also think it might get that recency bias thing. Because y'all remember when God of War Ragnarok came out, and then we got to the Game Awards and it was sitting in the list, and then it only came out like a month or so before. I think it's gonna hit that recency bias spot. That's what I think.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of what I'm thinking. Like, how much is recency bias gonna take over here for that game? Yeah. I did see people calling it their game of the year so far. Man, it's crazy because Helldivers is not even on this list. What else?
Helldivers isn't on there.
Helldivers was
40K
like
isn't.
I think that was like what, like a mid 80s.
Those are like high 80s, weren't they?
Yeah, like maybe like high 80s,
Dominus Collection. Okay. Nice
Wukong.
Wukong, I remember being like lower 80s. Like I'll say
it was like one of those kind of 83, 84.
Go ahead, Terrence.
I was just gonna say Wukong is one of those games where the people who really like it, they really like it. But in terms of it being like considered a critical darling, it's kind of like I think Wukong is the Liza P for this year.
Oh yeah, kind of the same genre. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just in terms of their reception, like people who really like Liza P, they really liked it. But the critical scores don't necessarily reflect how much the fans like it.
Which is interesting because it's like the indie Souls-likes kind of all fall into those same score ranges.
That 80,
but the good ones, Stellar Blade,
85,
yeah,
that's another game that I think is going to be forgotten. Stellar Blade
for sure is going to be forgotten. Look, Wukong, they'll both be nominated. If we specifically talking about the Keeleys, if we're talking about the Keeleys, they'll be nominated for like action games and shit. But what won't happen is like Game of the Year. If you're a Wukong guy, if you're like, oh, Wukong's gonna be nominated, you need to get that out of your head right now. Wukong is not gonna be a Game of the Year nominee.
Nah.
Sorry.
Nah.
Not over Astrobot, not over hell. Like they might pull a fast one on you and sneak Shadow of the Erdtree in there. Not over Metaphor ReFantazio. Not
even over Yakuza. Yakuza came out to really good reviews at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, it did.
I got a feeling they won't sneak it in there though.
You know,
it'd be lit if they got a Yakuza in there. I ain't gonna lie, it'd be lit.
Oh, excuse me. I think it might go under like best RPG. It
probably
it won't win, but it'll go on that category.
Metaphor, Yakuza,
okay, so I think the normal there's 6 slots for Game of the Year. Astrobot, Rebirth, ReFantazio. Let's just those are probably going in.
Yeah.
After that, I don't think Hades 2 is eligible.
No, it's not finished.
Nah,
because it's
Tekken can't because they're not gonna put a fighting game up there.
Nah,
they might. They might.
Street Fighter. Was Street
that
Fighter
shit
up there
would
Game
have
of
to
the Year
be
last year? I can't remember if it was or not.
It was.
No, it wasn't. I think Resident Evil 4 made it in because we had an argument over this on the stream.
Yeah, because the remake thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, you've got 3 slots taken for sure, and then if Dragon Age is
not
good,
the Last
that
of Us
might be
2
a 4th
Part
one.
2 remastered.
Please say what?
That's not going to count.
Hell no, they can't include that.
That's not going to count.
I fight.
Fair. I would
fight together.
I swear, bro.
If Dragon Age is good on the level of what people are talking about, then that might be number 4. I mean, there might be space for Like a Dragon to be a Game of the Year nominee.
I feel like you need that one really high-scoring indie game. What was that for this year?
That would be Animal Well.
Balatro will probably be up there then.
Animal Well is up there.
Animal Well is also, it kind of feels like it hits all the right places for like critical acclaim.
Yeah, but that Balatro, like when it came to mobile, people was like, man, I knew this game was good.
It's pretty much like was it Vampire Survivors?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, where it's just pure fun.
Yeah,
and you just get to it. Ain't no story. You just play. That's the game.
When you get into it,
I can see that being a Game of the Year candidate.
So yeah, I mean, like I could see that being like the top 6.
I wonder if UFO 50 might sneak in there.
I mean,
I feel like not enough people have talked about that game. Like I haven't heard enough.
I can see that.
So like it would have to. It's not the nomination process. Who's gonna nominate it?
Probably because they still playing them games hard as fuck. It's 50 of them.
There's a lot of games that part I like. How much did you say that game was going for?
The cost?
Yeah,
like $20, I think. Let me see.
Wow, that's a really good value, even if those games are short. I heard they were in progress. They worked on that for like 7 years or 6 years.
They did.
Like that.
Let me see what the price was. 25.
Okay,
25.
That's a good deal.
Okay. Yeah, 25.
You know, it'd be funny. What if Indiana Jones comes out and like when it comes out, it's not going to be eligible. But what if
it's
that
not
ends
eligible.
up being like a really good game?
It's
and
I hope so.
I
hope it's excellent. I hope it's the best game of all time. Amazing. Indy, you did it again, you son of a bitch. Harrison Ford, the legend, the truth.
Y'all just kept popping up. Rakeem has picked Indy for his fantasy critic, so that's why he's like really rooting for it.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for it.
But having said that, it's crazy. I didn't even think I'm not thinking that Indy's gonna be bad because I mean, like I had the opportunity to counterpick it just like Devin did. I just chose not to. I had a feeling, but like I think it's gonna be one of those. It's fine, like one 84. Of those like 80, 82, 84. No higher than 85 type games. That's what I have in my head for it.
Yeah.
And so like that to me, it's gonna be one of those. This is really good, but it ultimately like it's a level the tier right below Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Where everybody's like, yeah, this is fine, and in a weak year it might have made it in, but this is not a weak year. There hasn't been a weak year in a long time. So what do you want?
A really strong year, man.
Games that haven't come out yet that weren't pushed away that are like still like besides Dragon Age Veilguard, I know.
And we also had Persona 3. Like that came out. That was very.
Persona 3 Reload did come out this year.
Yeah,
and it reviewed well.
I think it was like 86, 87. Then
88.
Unicorn Overlord. 88. Okay, cool. And then Unicorn Overlord here.
You know what's wild?
Best RPG section is going to be a bloodbath.
We hadn't said a Nintendo game.
We definitely have.
There hasn't been a Nintendo game that's been like a game of the year quality game.
Yeah.
They still have the Mario and Luigi Brothers RPG game.
The Brothership game.
Now that game, I'm hoping does amazing.
I'm sure you do. Actually, hey, I like that series, the Superstar Saga S series. I always like that series, so I hope it's good too.
I would assume an 84. Anything above that is above my expectations. Like if it hits 86, God forbid, if it hit an 88, I would be over the moon for it. As far as like Fantasy Critic, I'd be like, holy shit, this game really showed out for me. I don't really count on 90s. Like I feel like that's so like Terrence was just saying, it's so hard.
We got spoiled this year. Let's be honest. We got spoiled.
God.
There's a lot of 90s this
year. I guess I'm just mad that I got so close, but yet so far.
but it's
so hard to predict what's going to hit at 90. Like, I don't know. Like, even when you pick a sure thing, like even Dragon Age, like in my head, if Dragon Age got an 88, and this is not me talking about Fantasy Critic, this is me talking about how good I hope the game is. In my head, if Dragon Age gets an 88, it hit my expectations.
I mean, that's a great score. Yeah.
It's a great score.
Good score.
And you know
like
what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Good. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was going to say that, and I'll also say that the whole Fantasy Critic thing has made me realize, I think this also kind of feeds into why people treat 80s as like not good anymore. It's like because like they see like these 82s and like how this doesn't really turn out that well in terms of it, like doesn't give you like the highest score on like these Fantasy Critics, and it's like, oh, this game was bad. And it's like, no, those are still really good scores. Like, don't get it twisted.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, it's people are so obsessed, and they get mad at 7s now. People get mad at 7s. Like, when
real
a game
mad.
comes out,
for real.
And it gets a 7. If they think it's better than a 7, they're like, oh man, how could you give this game a 7? You don't know gaming. And if they think it's garbage, they're like, oh man, this game is trash. And usually when people complain about a game getting a 7 is too high, it offended them personally. It has nothing to do with whether or not the game is good. Like I was on gaming leaks and rumors on Reddit, and somebody was talking about how behind the scenes it seems like Concord is still getting updates and it might go free to play. And in the comments, somebody was like, I guess they could market it as like the worst game ever. And very quickly people were like, this game was not the worst game ever. Like, that's the problem. It wasn't really that bad. It was just a game. It's fine.
The game never was bad. It was people just weren't interested in playing it. That's the difference.
Honestly, the games about Concord have kind of outlived Concord itself.
Absolutely.
Very true.
And I don't know, like and we talked about this the last time we did a live. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if was it a live or were we just talking and we put this up?
It was a live and it became a video.
It's like, I don't know, man. Like the thing about Fair Games and Marathon, like, man, I'm still
Marathon games. Marathon, man, I'm so scared for that. I'm like, bro, Bungie.
Ooh.
First of all, your name is Bungie, so your name started off. You already in precarious position, so don't snap the cord with Marathon, bro. I actually like Destiny 2. I haven't played Destiny 2 a lot. Please.
Aren't they?
Please don't let this
another trailer
up
for Destiny 2.
Yeah, they still have content coming out. They just made the content. The Revenant.
Something new or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
I think it's called Revenant. I think I haven't followed up with it since the last expansion.
Okay.
So I have to look at.
But yeah,
I knew they rolled out a roadmap of what they're gonna do.
Okay.
From now on. The scope is going to change, but they're still going to add content to it.
I mean, that was going to have to happen anyway. Even if Marathon was a success, then they were going to have to change it anyway because they don't have that much staff to like do 2 games.
Not anymore.
It requires a ton of staff and I forgot. And they did have to do a lot of layoffs because of Sony. So I mean, like,
yeah, they did a lot of layoffs. So we'll see how that goes.
So looking ahead real quick, as far as like video games.
Oh boy.
I know, right? Painful.
Rolling like a big shot.
That's another thing. It's like, man, there were so many games that came out at the beginning of this year that were hits that like people have kind of forgotten, or they kind of turned heel on. Because I feel like Dragon's
Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma is like that came out to
I saw that.
That came out to really good reviews, but it feels like people have kind of turned heel on it.
We talked about that one. I think either we did. I don't know if we talked about it on stream or if it was just me and Keen.
Shout out Adventures 2.
Yeah,
I know that. I played the RPG. I know the developer. The first game was like this small indie project. He worked his ass off to make the second game. He like made all custom graphics and shit. It's like way better. It was a fun game. I still have it. It's pretty good. Sorry. I like when small indie developers like make dope ass sequels.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, my brother.
Nothing at all.
No, I was just gonna say, like, me and Keen talked about the Dragon's Dogma thing, and like it's crazy. Like it felt like the longer people played it, the more they were like, nah, this ain't it.
Same with Tekken 8.
Yeah. Definitely Tekken 8. The 180 that game has had.
It's like every fighting game at this point. I feel like it's crazy.
I asked this a year ago. I was like, man, is any fighting game like players actually happy with their games? It's like all y'all do is complain now. Like your game will go on, and it's like no matter what they do, how much content they add, what they do to it, like it's gonna be some negative eventually. Like it don't matter what they do, and sometimes it'll just be like the culture of the game itself, just the online culture and the negativity. Sometimes it just encapsulates it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you know, gamers don't forgive these days. Well, you offend them, they done with your ass.
Yeah, because there's so much stuff to play.
Y'all just see something called Redacted?
There's a game that's literally coming out called
E6.
Okay.
Like there's
that Shadows of the Dam remaster.
Hella remastered.
Wolfang, Skull.
You know what that reminds me of?
Saturn Tribute Boosted. Oh, it's a shooter.
Shadows of the Dam, Hella remastered. You know what that reminds me of?
What's that?
We go over there to the little churches. It's like right across the churches. There's just a spot called Hella Hot Chicken.
I've had it. It's good. It's ghetto, but it's good.
Yeah. Anytime you walk in, they got the prison doors when you get in there. You like, hey man, where
I'm gonna tell you right now. This is how you know you at a hood chicken spot. This for anybody want to know. You go in there, you order your food, and you get your food, some chicken, maybe some fries, and you just get a slice of bread.
Yes,
just a regular slice, not a roll, not a biscuit, a regular slice of bread. You in the hood, and they're not necessarily bad because hot chicken and bread actually go together.
I was going to say, no, so that bread tastes amazing.
Yeah, the bread tastes really good.
White styrofoam cup.
Oh yes,
nondescript paper. It's so many descriptors for it.
Generic napkins you can buy from the store, Walmart. Yep. Oh yeah, love it.
Oh man, that Farmagia game comes out this year. I was so excited for that game at first, and I saw what the gameplay looked out. I said, all right.
I was not excited.
My head told me that game was coming out next year. I was just like, this is coming out next year. Then they were just like, nah, bro, this year. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
I saw earlier they had
that game out.
They had a game Os Libra. I think that was a game that was made by like one person over 10 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I played the demo of it. That game has crazy customization.
Yeah,
your character can play so many different weapons and like a ridiculous amount of spells for like this side-scrolling like RPG beat 'em up. It's a little weird how the graphics look with the combat, but it's fun and it works fine. So I had a good time with it playing on my Steam Deck.
What's up? Because I got it myself, and I see they got this coming out now, and I'm just like, God.
It's a weird game, but the combat is
go ahead.
So many systems involved with it.
It's
gonna look really weird.
I am very curious to see if that Quiet Place game is like actually decent. I'm hoping it is because it seems like the marketing for it has been quite good.
Huh. This does look different. Like I did not expect it to look like this.
It looks very different, but you have a lot of customization in this game.
This reminds me of like the old PS1 games a little bit.
It reminds me.
I can see that.
That's what it reminds me of.
It's like a side-scrolling Alundra.
Yep.
Yeah, but man, you had like all these spells you can use, all these different weapon types, this huge ass skill tree. It's just like a ridiculous amount of customization.
You said the same guy was working on this for 10 years?
I think like 10 years or 8 to 10 years, one dude.
Wow.
One dude.
That's commitment right there.
And this game has reviewed very well, so people seem to like it.
Yeah, a lot of people like it. I always see high reviews for this.
What was the other game that not redacted, but I will look that up.
Oh yeah, NIS doing their thing again by putting out these games on PlayStation fully now because they putting Phantom Brave, the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, they sure are.
Is that a sequel?
I don't think it is. I think it's the enhanced PSP version of the game because they had like different versions of like Phantom Brave,
Nine Souls was cool.
And all that.
I was just gonna say I saw Nine Souls. I heard pretty good things about that. I don't know how it reviewed, but I've heard streamers.
I've definitely seen people
kind of in the vein of man. When I tell you,
Fantasian.
What's the name of that game? What's the clown game? Will
Hollow Knight?
Oh, Hollow Knight.
Yeah, like Hollow Knight has like spurred so many kids now. Like it's got so many games like copying this vibe. I saw a game I think it was called like Void something that looked just like Hollow Knight. Nine Souls has seemed like it had some inspiration from Hollow Knight.
Stranger?
I don't know if it's Void Stranger, but whatever the game is, it looks just like Hollow Knight. It like just like Hollow Knight.
You said Void Stranger?
Yeah, I thought it was, but it's not that one though. Because I was just like,
no, it's not Void Stranger. Hold on, I'm gonna look that up later though. I'm a sampler when it comes to video games. I'll try anything. Fairy Tail 2. Man, I can't let that sequel is out already.
Fairy Tail?
It's been like 3 years since the last one.
Yeah, the first one came out in 2021 or early 2021. Yeah.
Well, I guess that's how old sequels used to be. Like, that's how it used to be.
I mean, it's not like they throwing hella money into it.
Nah, so. They ain't. Which is why, like, Neon Blood seemed like it was a pretty cool game.
Rent a Girlfriend.
Even Watches in 1.0, I forgot about that. That game is pretty cool. That's the one that's a roguelite, and they use like Fairy Tail characters.
Snow Bros.
This one was cute.
It's a platformer?
Yeah.
Okay.
There definitely need to be more platformers.
Well, the indie space has definitely been huge for platformers.
The indie space has been huge for everything. It feels like everything coming back in the indies.
Like pretty much like I think we've talked about this before, how we've reached the time where like it's now time for PS1 N64 nostalgia.
Yep.
Like we had SNES and Sega Genesis nostalgia, and now it's time for the next generation. So I guess the generation after that will finally have Dreamcast PS2 nostalgia.
So like Sky Ocean, which is kind of like a mimic of a lot of people saying Skies of Arcadia, even though it's kind of doing its own thing in that regard. But that reminded me of that, what you're saying too, starting to see more PlayStation, Dreamcast, like 3D era.
Yeah, essentially like the N64, Sega Saturn, PS1 era. And that's a game we still have to see how that's going to turn out. Stalker 2.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I assume that's going to be a big hit.
If that's a big hit, that could also be. If like a big one, it could be in the. It could be in the running.
Absolutely.
Hey man, I need Microsoft Flight Simulator to come through, man. Like that game was.
Oh my god.
The first one was highly praised, so I need this one to be the same.
I'm fairly confident that game's gonna do well.
Beyblade, we letting it rip. We still letting it rip.
I see Foody's name on it.
So I already know this game gonna be mid.
It's Foodie. I've already seen. Matter of fact, I think that game is already out in Japan, ain't it?
That doesn't surprise me at all. Beyblade X.
Because I actually ended up watching like a Beyblade game history video, and they covered a lot of them. And I think this is in Japan right now. I think.
And I don't know
Beyblade games played the hell out of them. That I want to play as like a video game. I don't know. That's just me personally, I guess.
I
need more to it than just the spinning tops. I mean,
clearly they got like an arena and like characters moving around and tournaments and stuff. I need my Bit Beast to come out. I know that.
Get back up.
That's another thing. There's no excuse for me
not to Beyblade. I hear you, Will.
Hey man, I'm just telling you. Bro.
I'll tell you, I had love for that show, boy. I think
this was where I tapped out. Like, I don't know if it was because I was too old But I can't be because I was too old. Because my homeboys still like Beyblade. This was the one where I was like, all right, this is a bridge too far for me.
Hey, when
love
Beyblade and Metabots were all on like ABC Family and whatnot, I was definitely watching.
Beyblade, Metabots, Yu-Gi-Oh! It was peak Keeman. Because I was liking everything that came out that time.
I still fuck with Metabots because it was just robots. I fuck with Yu-Gi-Oh! I fucked with what's some of the other shit that was really Digimon and like
Digimon,
the Digimon version of the Tamagotchi and shit. I fucked with all of that, but like there was some I was like, it's just spinning tops, my nigga. Like
they got monsters coming out of them.
Not in real life. So I mean,
oh no, I mean it was fun in real life. You just let it rip, hit the top.
You know what that shit reminded me of in real life?
What's up?
If anything, looking back, it's funny how we spent like $20 on those plastic domes just to put the tops in.
I didn't have enough money to buy a plastic dome. We had a shoebox from the house. That's what we played in.
I had the dome. I brought it to school. Me and like 3 other dudes would be
there were some dudes at the school who had the domes. We played on those. I didn't get in the pogs at all. Nobody I knew played pogs. That probably was. I mean, I was 5. That's like perfect age to play bullshit.
Hold on, what bullshit?
Just throw them pogs down, boy.
You just stacked them and then just threw one at them? Like,
you better throw it down.
It's like dominoes.
Better throw some Bakugan at the motherfucker.
That was another one I never really got into. Bakugan.
My little brother liked Bakugan, but that was like perfect for his age.
Yeah, Bakugan. Bakugan was a little too late.
Yeah, I didn't get into that either.
Yeah, I was too old.
Did they sequelize that?
What?
Yeah, they have several animes. I believe.
Did they make more?
I know they have more than one anime.
I don't know if it's. I think it's still going. I think.
Well, I know Beyblade is still going in Japan.
Which is crazy.
I think Bakugan is still going.
People still do tournaments with Beyblade.
Oh, they did a reboot. There you go.
Yeah. Bakugan Legends.
Bakugan Legends.
Hey, Bakugan Evolutions, man. Box. Oh, I got black person in front. I respect it. I
remember this because one of the voice actors that I follow, he announced that he
tried to throw it, flip out.
Yeah, I do remember this.
Yeah, boy. Bakugan, baby. This theme song is ass.
Hey, look. Hey. You know what? No, King, I ain't gonna let you do it.
What's up?
We've been complaining about lack of theme songs for years because ain't nobody even tried. It might be ass, but at least they tried.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, man. That there was one season of Beyblade where they had a good opening. Like it was like
the first one.
No, well, not those. I'm talking about more recent. Where it's
okay.
It's like let it rip, and it's like just the way that they have it, where it just sounds actually pretty cool. I don't know which Beyblade series it is though.
I heard people was losing their shit over the new over the Dandadan theme.
Oh, really?
You know. I watched it and I mean it's cool. Crazy. Like Creepy Nuts is doing his thing, but I mean I need to hear it more. I'll put it that way.
Oh, this intro is cool as fuck.
I mean the intro is really cool, like without question. Yeah.
Animation is crazy. A lot of animation. What
the fuck is going on?
You have to ask that. You probably shouldn't be watching it. Because you ain't gonna get nowhere.
I'm about to get done. That's what's going on.
I can see how people started liking this theme. I don't know if I'm gonna like it the same way, but I can see how people started liking it.
Yeah.
A lot of energy.
I'll say that I still think Mashless theme is the better one. Like if we're talking about which Creepy Nuts song is the one this year.
It's hard to come up with multiple earworms of the same quality. I'll give you
very true. And often when you have the same artists, it'll be diminishing returns anyway, because you've already heard them.
Yep.
I will say that I think it's cool how it starts off one way and then goes to like this very chill vibe later in the song.
Yeah, it slipped from like rap to like hip hop. I mean, from rap to like R&B.
Yeah.
Like the 2000s. Y'all got that one.
I forgot to clean up my history. Damn it. Oh, is that game over? Oh, no, it's not. Okay.
All right, bro.
I was like, did they get...
It's 10 o'clock, ain't it? Should be over.
No, it just depends.
Or close over.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
Well, damn. If you a Brock Purdy skeptic, he ain't give you nothing this time. 3 touchdowns.
Oh, there you go.
We'll see how they look next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that aside, it is. I'm gonna have to go back and check out Don Don Don, but I mean, like, it's just not. It wasn't at the top of my list, but I feel like I gotta eventually check out one of these like super popular new shows because I feel like I tend to skip them. Like I didn't really pay attention to Jujutsu Kaisen. Now it's over. I wasn't really.
Maybe you were good for skipping it because the way it ended, some people did not like it.
I heard
I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just
people
saying.
don't like nothing. It's like all the big animes in the mangas are just never well received these days.
It just doesn't seem like the mangakas know how to end them. I don't know.
I mean, I know with My Hero, the dude, he was just in such a rush, and I mean, like, to be fair, he was having health issues and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so I can understand why he might want to just like, hey man, let's get out of here. Demon Slayer, it didn't end bad, but it was rushed. Like I didn't hate the ending, but I was like, man, you rushed your way through this because like the next arc, like you see what they decided. The next arc is just going to be 3 movies. I think that might be a little much, but I'm not saying that it's not possible for you to do it. What's the other show that ended recently? Is it just those 2?
I mean,
My Hero and Jujutsu Kaisen in terms of like big shonen manga.
Yeah. Attack on Titan last year.
Yeah.
JJK, like it's we didn't got to a point now where people, I don't know if it's cope. Everybody's like, it's gonna be a sequel. That's the only. It's got to be a sequel. Like I don't know if it's gonna be no sequel.
I don't know about all that, but it might be something.
You might
I mean,
just be
it's possible, but
I know people kind of want a sequel to MHA to like fix it because like of like how it ended. And I don't want to spoil it because, of course, the anime is not caught up yet. But it's if you've seen it, it's people like, hey man,
the memes spoiled it.
Without spoiling it, I'm gonna say this: they turned somebody into just put my fries in the bag, bro.
That was one of the memes that I saw.
Like man, it's sad. Yeah. I used to be just grade my homework, bro. Put the grade on my homework, bro.
I ain't gonna lie, just put the fries in the bag, bro. It's been like one of the harshest critiques I think I've ever heard, bro. That shit caught on so fast. When I heard that on WWE, I was like, yo.
I didn't really think that made sense, like the way he used it. Because I feel like just put my fries in the bag got to be a response. You can't just walk up to somebody and say, just put my fries in the bag, bro. Like, you got to be saying it. Like, they got to have talked some shit to you, and you like, hey, just put my fries in the bag, bro.
Essentially just calling you a jobber, like, hey, man, you just a regular.
Yeah. I think that was after, like, they had, like, a feud of several matches, and Carmella won the feud. It was like, hey, man, you kind of came back, and, like, you ain't done shit since you came back.
You washed.
You washed.
You call that man washed. I ain't gonna lie. I don't blame Andrade for stealing off of him after that. Like, man, shut up.
I don't blame him.
I'm gonna have to clean my fucking history because I can't have that face in my like. Ugh.
Wait, what face
you all right?
Are you talking about the Don Don face?
No,
that.
Yeah.
Who is that?
The comments.
A loser.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's who it is.
Loser. You know that YouTube algorithm getting you.
No, it's somebody recommended a video of theirs, and it took me about 5 minutes to figure out what type of streamer this person was, and I was like, oh, and I forgot to clear out the history. That, by the way, if y'all ever have weird algorithm problems and you watch some silly ass video, just go back through your history, delete it.
To everybody.
It'll clear up like very quickly. Like it'll be like, oh, so.
Yeah. These days, man, I'm going through shorts so fast, man. It feels like that's like the main thing that comes up now. Anything that's on my shorts list.
It's like, man, that's the one thing I don't like about this modern era is how quickly people steal swag. Like how quickly these tech companies like, oh yeah, y'all do that? Oh, we do that too now. Like, man, get your own shit and just improve your own shit. Stop stealing other people's shit.
Talking about how like Instagram pretty much just stole Snapchat's flow bar for bar, word for word.
And now TikTok, like you got YouTube trying to steal TikTok, and it's like, man, get your own shit. Cut that out.
Instagram is pretty much just TikTok too, so yeah.
Yeah, it has turned to that.
Crazy.
It's like a meta with tech now.
Yeah, and the meta is steal somebody else's shit.
So
we're not even going to try that hard. Just what you got? What do you have going on over there? Give me that. Like,
what are you give
doing,
me that?
Fellow?
I was just thinking about that song too.
I mean, I think about it too, especially because like it's football season, and so like Chisel Adonis uses that as like one of his audio cuts. Give me that. As soon as somebody get hit, give the ball up. Give me that.
Give me that.
Run off with it. But yeah, man. We'll have to reconvene and look into like, well, not so much game of the year. I think that conversation we've pretty much exhausted because like I don't think there's anything else. I think it's just Stalker 2 and Dragon Age, and I don't think there's anything else that
like big games that probably make the impact will be in the conversation.
I feel like there's something that we're forgetting. I don't know.
A big game? What if it was Super Mario Party?
Hey man, that last trailer we watched looked lit though.
It was lit.
That's what we seen now.
I don't know.
That'll just be game of the year in your heart.
The problem with Super Mario Party is that it's just always like the last few have reviewed terribly. So
I cannot believe they got that Retro Realms game with Ash and Jason and not Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers in it as like a Metroidvania side-scrolling game. Like, what the fuck did this come from?
Feels like everybody's getting a game now, except Centurion.
What's it looking like in November again?
Give me a second.
Because since Assassin's Creed is going now, I'm like, what's left?
COD.
Cock-a-doodle.
COD comes out in October this year, right?
I know. Dragon Quest HD comes out next month, right?
Yes.
Oh, that and Mario and Luigi. We'll have to see how Mario and Luigi.
Oh, Lego Horizon.
Oh yeah, Lego Horizon.
I feel like Lego Horizon is going to be like a low 80s game. I just have a feeling like it'll be
85,
fun.
85 is like the ceiling.
Honestly, if it scores 85, 86, that'd be better than I expected.
Typically those games don't do too well.
Oh, Fantasia.
I don't know how Lego Star Wars did, because that one I think was a big one.
I think in the 80s.
I think that one was surprisingly very well received. I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Sony got on them, maybe. Marvel Rivals has potential to be like a Game of the Year candidate if it's really good.
Yeah, if it's like really polished by the time it comes out.
Right. If it's a really
which it should be at this point.
Marvel Rivals has potential. It's interesting because I thought that game was coming out in 2025. I think they said that at one point, and then they were like, "Oh, well, never mind." Actually,
well, you know what? I feel like that would be the perfect Christmas game because it's free. Everybody's just gonna hop online, and they're gonna have a lot of fun that Christmas. So I think that's probably a really good time to release it.
Christmas break, baby, it's about to get lit.
It's a Christmas break game, and then I don't see free on release.
I think the only ones that are definite are Indiana Jones. I just don't see that being a Game of the Year candidate.
We'll see. I mean, it won't matter. It comes out in December, so it won't be able to qualify regardless.
And then actually, I think Marvel Rivals will also be.
Yeah, it won't qualify either.
Right. So those two will be out. So what we have is just the next 2 months, and so that's.
Was there anything that came out last December that'll be eligible now?
The only game that came out last December that was of importance was Avatar. That's the only thing I remember.
Oh,
hell no!
That definitely ain't winning nothing. Oh, I forgot they did another version of Rumblefish. Oh my god,
they did another version of Rumblefish.
It was like Rumblefish Plus or something. I think it was just a port.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I mean,
Rogue Trader, the finals, throwing in Liberty
like
PC. Nope.
Game every time I look at it.
You know what? I
You
just
said what?
remembered. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Finals just feels like such a soulless game every time I see it.
People like it though.
They do seem to like it.
It's just pure fun. That's it.
You want to know what game I just thought about? Like, what if it came out and actually was really good? Sonic Shadows Generations.
Man, that would be wild.
Sonic
Shadows Generations.
They've been promoting,
and then, like, leading to
been promoting the hell out of Shadow for that game. So I don't know.
They have.
If that's good and the Sonic Shadow movie is good, Sega gonna have a banger year. I tell you that.
Man, Sega's had one hell of a run this year.
Sega's already had a great year.
That's true.
Hey, man,
Sega,
them buying Atlas was one of the best decisions they ever made.
It's like, okay, we got Yakuza, we got Persona 3 Reload, we got Metaphor Refantasio. Who did Unicorn Overlord? Was it them?
No, that's Vanillaware.
No, that's Vanillaware.
Oh, they published them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who published it?
Oh, Atlas did.
Oh,
Atlas publishes, so that means Sega's really the publisher.
Yeah.
They knocked it out, man. Yeah. Sega fucking killed it this year.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
A guy from OG Sign in Another World is so happy right now.
I know he is.
Sega's still on top.
Shout out to Sega.
Oh man!
Hopefully get Virtua Fighter.
I'm glad you made that reference. Shout outs to that anime.
I definitely thought about you because like you were the one that brought up like he still thought about the console war, and I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry.
Oh man, how can we forget about Empire of the Ants? 10 out of 10.
Oh, it's a Microids game, so I don't know.
I'm joking, bro. It could be good. It could be good.
Based on a novel. Man, Microids, man, do something with y'all keep doing all these like nerd games and shit. Do something with fucking Centurions. Stop wasting my time, bro. Even if you put out a mid game, I'll take it.
You heard Sage do what he said.
Then do something with Centurions, man.
Just give me like a fucking 68
Power.
to 72 Centurions game. I'd be so hyped.
Extreme.
Yeah. I've been watching that lately at night. Like I like throw on like a playlist of old cartoons and like Centurions is always on the list.
That's a good ass cartoon, so I understand.
It was a fun ass cartoon. It was a little too sci-fi for kids, I guess. I don't know. Because it definitely didn't get a second season. It got like 65 episodes, but didn't get a second season.
McCloud. 65 episodes.
That's a lot.
For a cartoon show. It's a lot in general, though, compared to a lot of other shows.
Yeah. All right, man. We will reconvene. We're gonna call it a stream, but like we'll be back with y'all with a regular episode of No Level Cap next week. I don't know what we'll be doing. I'm not sure. Like we haven't quite worked it out. It'll probably be a movie review. We haven't done one of those in a while. I hope y'all look forward to it. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Take it easy. Play video games. Eat chicken.
Eat chicken.
Just eat it.